Welcome to the best gambling show on the internet. This is the home of the money pick. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Playoffs coming up, wild card weekend, and I want to thank you guys for a successful year. We won lots of money. There's a guy who posts my record in the comment section every week. Go check out the money pick record. It speaks for itself. The Patreon record speaks for itself. Let's get to the first game. We got the Las Vegas Raiders at the Cincinnati Bengals. Right now it's Las Vegas +6, and I know everyone's saying Cincinnati's going to win this in a blowout. They were saying the same thing about the Chargers last week. But I got Vegas to cover. Cincinnati wins late with Burrow magic. And listen, the Cincinnati offensive line, I'm worried about it. And this Chargers offensive line got their ass whooped by the Raiders defensive line last week. And Reef's out, maybe Quentin Spain's banged up. There just isn't enough dogs on the Cincy line to win this game easy. Yes, Mixon's coming back. Yes, when Burrow and Mixon are there, there's run-pass balance, and that helps the offensive line. But Ngakoue, Crosby, it might be a little bit too much. And listen, we know this Raiders offense, they're not going to provide anything special. At least Waller's back. Renfro can ball a little bit, but there's no deep target. They play in a little box, and Josh Jacobs can get going, but we know this Bengals defense, they fight, they tackle well, and they're extremely physical. I don't know if there's a defense that plays harder in this league than the Cincinnati Bengals. So I'm looking at this game. I think it goes down to a dogfight in the fourth quarter. I don't think the Bengals win it easy. I think the Bengals really have to claw and scrap to win this game. Las Vegas covers the 6. I think the 6 is a bit too much since he wins. Let's get to the next game. We got the Arizona Cardinals. Zona at the Los Angeles Rams. Rams are -4. Money. I'm digging this trench. I'm digging it, and we're slinging gas and just hoping it doesn't land on us. And I'm going Rams to win in the cover. I told you what would happen last week. I told you the Seahawks would upset the Zona Cardinals. And yes, there was a little bit of strategy to that from Cliff Kingsbury. This week, Kyler Murray, man, he's going to be hitting on all cylinders. He's going to run it 9 to 12 times. He's going to do what he needs to do to win this game. But my question to you guys is, where's the help coming from? D-Hop, he should be back. But even if D-Hop comes back, doesn't Jalen Ramsey cancel him out? And are we counting on A.J. Green and people like Chase Edmonds to step up? I just can't see it happening. I think the Rams are a better team top to bottom. And when I'm looking at this coaching matchup, you got Cliff versus Sean. And I'm not the biggest McVay guy. I think he's a bit overrated. But Cliff Kingsbury doesn't know how to manage games. Cliff Kingsbury doesn't know how to make adjustments. Cliff Kingsbury doesn't know how to run the ball without putting his star quarterback in harm's way. And this Rams defensive line will be the difference. I felt like this Arizona offensive line was putty all year. And the first 7 weeks, you guys had your fun. You zanged me. And yes, I was a little bit wrong about the Cardinals the first 6-7 weeks. And then everything churned. When it hits November, when it hits December, when you get into January, things get more physical. Things get more brutalistic. You can't play finesse. And I just feel like, is there a more finesse team in this league than the Zona Cardinals? And people are picking them to go in on the road to upset the Rams. I just don't see it happening. Von Miller, Aaron Donald against this offensive line, I just think it's too much to handle. And listen, Zona, the strength of Zona's defense is Budda Baker, Watt, Mike should be back, Chandler Jones. That's the strength. They got 3 star players, and the rest is below average fodder. I just think the Rams offensive line will be able to deal with them. The Rams offensive line is not going to dominate. We're not going to see vintage Rams like 150, 170 rushing yards. But the Rams are going to run it more this week. They have to be careful about Stafford. He's an absolute interception machine. But Kyler Murray also is, but for different reasons. Kyler Murray has such a thin air of separation between his receivers. He doesn't get the help from the run game. Stafford, he'll have guys wide open. He'll sling that thing 30 yards over their at. That's just where Stafford's at this point. With that being said, though, I think the Rams play better defense. Rams winning cover with the -4. Make it a money pick. Next game, we got the Philadelphia Eagles. Hurts at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay is -8.5. And listen, you never like betting Tampa Bay to cover a -8, -9, -10 these last 2 years. But I have to go Tampa Bay to win in the cover. And the strength of the Eagles is the run game. It's not because Boston Scott's good. It's not because Howard's good. It's not because the offensive line is good. It's because Hurts, with the read option, with him running physically, he's able to add an extra number in the box. That's why they're able to run it. And you know, there's a lot of hate about Hurts, and I hear it all week. And people say, Lawson, you like Hurts a little bit too much. Listen, this kid makes 3 or 4 extravagant, big, game-breaking type plays a game, and he's going to make them against Tampa Bay, but it's not going to be enough. This Eagles team isn't potent enough. And when I'm looking at this game, Tampa Bay offensive line against the Philly defensive line. Now, this Philly defensive line, they've controlled games this year, and we got to tip our fedora to them. But I think this Tampa Bay offensive line is trending in the right direction. I think Tampa Bay's able to run it. I think they hold up in pass protection. I can't say the same thing about this Eagles offensive line. I don't know if the Eagles are going to be able to run the ball. Say what you will about this Tampa Bay defense. They can't cover anyone. But one thing we know they do, one thing any Todd Bowles defense has done for the last 7-8 years, they stay in their run fits, they win battle, they get penetration, and I don't know who's going to block Vita Vea. I could see a way this Eagles offensive line is able to open holes, but my main question is who the hell is going to handle Vita Vea? I mean, Vita Vea is playing so damn good right now, I don't want to understate it. So Tampa Bay to win in the cover. Brady's going to get more opportunities with the ball as well. Now, Hurts and Nick Sirianni, they're growing together. They're building together. But these Philly receivers, they can't catch, bro. And everyone likes to smug the mud on Hurts and say how bad he is, how he can't throw, how he lost his job to Tuitt in college. Fine, maybe some of that is true. But also, Devontae Smith and these dudes on the outside, they can't catch a lick. They might be worse catchers than a ball than Jacksonville's or something. No, I don't want to go that far. Tampa Bay to win in the cover. I think Tampa Bay stops Philly's run. That's the big matchup. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you share the videos. Check out my Patreon, only $5 a month. Let's get this money. Link in the description. Next game, we got the New England Patriots, the hoodie at the Buffalo Bills. New England is +4. And listen, I'm not taking the easy way out of this. I'm not. This is a game that's going to get people fighting on the internet. Any game with New England, Buffalo, whoever you pick, everyone's going to come attack you and put pressure on you. New England covers this +4. I think Buffalo wins with a late field goal. Buffalo, can they stop New England's run? Is New England out of ideas? Has the hoodie blown the load on the season? Last week, we rode with Miami MONEYLINE. We started all week since the beginning of the week 10 of the week. But that doesn't matter anymore. We're going to the playoffs. We're going to what Bill Belichick is going to do. And I think New England will be able to run this ball. I think that's why they stay around in this game, and I think that's why they cover. This Bills front seven, yes, they've been playing better in the last 5-6 weeks. But is anyone really sold on it? Outside of Ed Oliver, who's going to get penetration? Outside of Ed Oliver, who's a dog who can push people back? If the Patriots get this double team on his own blocking scheme, if they get this double team on Ed Oliver, I'm not seeing who else is going to win battles on this defensive line. And we know this Bills linebacking core, they're small. They're fast, but they're small. And so there's so many matchups in this game, but I think Matt Jones is going to struggle. That's going to be the Bills' saving grace in this game. Matt Jones is going to struggle. And also in Matt Jones' defense, what receiving core, what tight end core does he really have outside of Hunter Henry? Who is reliable? Who's a game breaker? Who can you rely on to create separation? On this Bills secondary, they're the strength of the defense. They really are the strength of the defense. I think they get 1 or 2 interceptions off Mac Jones, and I think it's the difference. On the offensive side of the ball, we know Bill, the hoodie Belichick, he's going to come with an amoeba defense. He's going to come with things the Bills haven't seen. But the Bills are going to use Josh Allen in the run game. Don't let them tell you different. And Devin Singletary running good last week against the Jets means absolutely nothing. That's not going to be the game plan. Yeah, Singletary is going to get it 9 or 10 times, but look for Josh Allen to get it 6 to 7 times and look for him to run it well. And that's going to create run-pass balance for the Bills, because if they throw 70, 75% of the time, they're going to get their ass blown out. They're going to get their ass blown out if they throw it too much. And that's what the Bills have learned. And Josh Allen's going to play better than Mac Jones. Now, Stephon Diggs has been a little bit milk carton this whole year due to his high standards. I think the Bills get him going. They're going to work him in the slot. Please don't throw it to Emmanuel Sanders. That's a big reason why I think the Patriots cover this. It's just too many wasted plays from the Bills on offense. New England covers the +4. Bills win the damn game. Next game, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City is -12.5. Money. Kansas City to win in the cover. It pains me to see this. Man, didn't you guys love watching Big Ben lead that team down in overtime, even with all the drop passes, even with the offensive line not blocking anything? But listen, everyone wants to focus on Pittsburgh's struggles. They want to focus on Big Ben. I want to focus on this receiving core and offensive line. Those two groups, they're just not good enough for playoff football. They're not good enough to hang with a Chiefs team that has a bunch of killers on both sides of the ball. And this Chiefs defense has been the story of the second half. Yes, Spagnuolo, he's a good defensive coordinator. We always knew that. But I love the way they're getting pressure. I love the way they're blitzing. I love the way they play man-to-man. And I just don't see anything Mike Tomlin and Big Ben can do. Now, the Steelers defense, they have one weakness: stopping the run. But we know they can stop the pass. We know they can rush the passer. But I don't think this Pittsburgh offense plays complementary football. I don't think Big Ben gets more than 160, 170 passing yards, and I think Big Ben will throw a pick. And also these receivers on Pittsburgh, what's the over-under on drops this game? 4 or 5? I think they go over whatever the hell it is. And when you look at Big Red Andy Reid, you look at a guy who's been criticized for playoff performances, but he's really fixed that the last 2 or 3 years. He plays aggressive. He puts the foot on the gas pedal, and he will not be afraid to blow out Pittsburgh. He's going to want to blow out Pittsburgh again. I got Kansas City -12.5. I'm not seeing any science, man. It's been miraculous what Pittsburgh has done. Last week against the Ravens, 3 weeks ago against the Titans, it's been miraculous. And it's the legend of Big Ben and Mike Tomlin. But outside of that, who's going to help those two do anything? I'm not seeing it. Chiefs winning the cover. Next game, we got the San Francisco 49ers at the Dallas Cowboys. Right now, it's San Fran +3. I'm going San Fran to win in the cover. I'm going pure fundamentals here, and I might regret this one. I think Dallas is the more explosive team. Dare I say it, Dallas might actually be getting better coaching. Right? I know it hurts me to say that, because I was a Shanahan guy. I like his fundamentals. I like the zone running scheme. But I think San Fran plays bully ball with them here. I think San Fran finally gets back down to fundamentals. Run the ball 60 to 65% of the time. Only use play action when Jimmy G is feeling comfortable, when you know Dallas is going to bite on it. And I've been saying all year, this Dallas front seven, you can pound them. Now, Denver pounded him, but not many other teams pounded him this year. I would not want to throw it a lot against Dallas, because Micah Parsons, you just can't deal with his speed rush, and Randy Gregory on the other side starting the ball. I just don't like the pass game against the Cowboys. I like teams trying to run it against them. Get up in them. Keep Dak off the field. Keep Zeke the Freak Elliott off the field, and I think that's what San Fran does. I think they go on the road, and I think they steal this one. Now, The reason why this isn't a money pick is because the San Francisco secondary, they don't really cover anyone. They don't really get close to anyone. They play a lot of zone. They play a lot of cover three, but they sit back too far and let you throw it 10 yards, let you throw it 7 yards, and they hope the Bosa brother does something extravagant. Dude, they're going to have to change the game plan because Dak absolutely eats against zone defenses. He's going to take that out and he's going to absolutely exploit that. So I think San Fran, they're going to be a more aggressive. They're going to send a few A-gap pressures. That's one thing they did against the Rams, and they should set a simple A-gap pressure. It got everyone on the defensive line one-on-one, and it made a huge bit of difference. It allowed them to get pressure. I think we see that out of San Fran. I think we see Bosa have a huge game, and everyone's still stuck 3-4 years ago. This Dallas offensive line isn't all that good. They're good going forward. They're good playing bully ball, but when they have to pass block, when they're in their pass sets, you can beat them. You saw the Raiders beat their ass. You've seen many teams beat this offensive line in the pass block game. I think San Fran does it. I think the Bosa brother has a huge game. And listen, this game is a little bit about Jimmy G. I'm not trying to duck my responsibilities. I'm not trying to duck the things that I've said before. I am really worried about Jimmy G in this game. But you give me Kittle, you give me Deebo Samuel, you give me a functioning running game, I think that's more consistent than anything Dallas can do. Now, Dallas, they need to run the ball, but we see them get away from it every single week, and we haven't seen Zeke really get up to his game. We just haven't seen him reach his heights, and I think that's going to hurt Big D in this game. San Fran wins and covers. America witnesses another Dallas Cowboys choke session. Hit the like button, share the videos, the best gambling show on the internet. Lawson Bets NFL on the gram. Follow me there. Let's get this money, y'all.